Hello and welcome to our Calculoid webinar. Today's webinar will be about finance calculators. However, before we start, let's have a look at Calculoid in general. So for those of you who don't have a Calculoid account yet, I will show you where you can actually sign up. So as you can see straight up on our homepage, you can actually sign up for our free account. If you would be interested in the details of our account, you can go to our pricing page where you can see the overview of our plans. So here you can see that we have 4 plans you can choose from: the free one, the professional one, e-commerce, and high traffic. So as you can see with the free one, you have unlimited number of public calculators, you can't have private calculators, and the monthly views of your calculators can be only 500. So what's the difference between public and private calculator? A public calculator is visible to all the users who have professional, e-commerce, or high traffic plan. They can actually also copy your calculators and they can customize them and make their own. Of course, they can't see the results submissions and reports for your calculators. So those are only visible to you. So private calculator means that you can actually hide your calculators from professional e-commerce and high traffic users, meaning they cannot copy it or customize it and make it their own. So as you can see, you as a free user, if you have the free account, you can't copy calculators. While if you have any of our paid accounts, that's something that you can do. Also, you can't use the result submission field and online payments, meaning that you can collect other people's emails and you can take payments online. While with our paid plans, with the professional one, you can collect people's emails with the result submission field. However, you can't take payments. But with e-commerce and high traffic plans, you can collect emails and also take payments online. And the last difference between the plans is the monthly views. So if you have a calculator that has been loaded 500 times on your website, then it'll actually stop loading for the rest of the month and it'll reset the next month. So with the professional plan is 2,000 views per calculator, e-commerce plan 10,000 views, and high traffic 300,000 views. So these are the differences. Should you have any questions about our pricing plans, you can always get in touch with us in our chat window over here. And usually you'll be put in touch with me. So my name is Anna Ogonusi, and I'm the one who usually chat with you or sort out your questions that you send to us via email. So feel free to get in touch anytime. You can also find our contacts on our contact tab. And here you can see our team. So what is Calculoid? So Calculoid is a place where you can build online web calculators or web forms where people can actually get results, count something, etc. So we provide a very simple solution where you can build a calculator in simply few minutes. So there is some videos on how to do it, and we also take you step by step building your calculators. There's so many calculators you can build with Calculoid. There is great variety. And also you can find out more about the news and new features and how to use our features in our blog. So we help you to create interactive calculations for your web visitors. There's a very easy to use calculator builder, which we'll have a look at in just a few minutes. You can get it online on your website in just a few clicks. You can work with it pretty much like with Excel. So if you know how to create formulas in Excel, Calculoid will be very easy for you. You can take online payments and you can generate leads. And the integration is very simple, just in a few clicks. As mentioned, you can create a variety of calculators, pretty much any kind of calculator. But of course, the main calculators that people create on Calculoid are mentioned here, which is finance calculators, which we'll be talking about today, price and payment kind of quote calculators, ROI calculators, we'll have a look at that as well today, health and medical. If you are interested in health and medical calculators, we had this webinar 2 weeks ago. You can find it on our Facebook, and shortly it will be on our blog as well. Another quote calculators, such as for translations. We will have webinar for quote calculators on the 7th of August. And BMI calculator, we spoke about that 2 weeks ago as well. If you don't want to be creating the calculator yourself, we offer our services where we can actually create a calculator for you. So should you wish to use our Calculate Custom services, just go to services on our website and fill in the details of your calculator, and we'll get back to you with a quote for your calculator. However, let's have a look a bit more in depth on finance calculators, which we are supposed to talk about today. So for today, we can first have a look at the calculators that we actually have here that you can see when you visit our website. So we can look at we can explore our finance calculator and ROI calculator. So let's have a look at the finance calculator, which is inheritance tax calculator. So as you can see, the inheritance tax calculator is a bit more complex calculator, I would say. However, you can pretty much see the fields that you can use over here. And this calculator, if you have one of our paid subscriptions, you can simply copy it. It's public in our calculators library. So probably before we actually look in detail in these calculators, let's show you how to create a calculator itself. So when you sign up and then you sign into your account, you can actually see when you sign into your account, there's an introduction video, which will give you a good idea about how to build your calculator. There are also some quick links, such as you can browse all calculators, your calculators, or you can visit your profile. Let's browse all calculators. So this is a library of all public calculators where you can simply search all finance calculator or any other particular calculator you look for, and then you can copy it from the public library as well if you have one of our paid plans. And let's start a new calculator. So for today, I've prepared a very simple calculator, which is a mortgage calculator. However, it would work the same way also for a loan calculator or any other thing. So let's call it webinar mortgage / loan calculator. Example of a loan or a mortgage calculator. Language, you can choose which language you want, and you can put any text such as finance, calculator, loan calculator, mortgage calculator. And we'll save the configurations, and here our builder of our calculator appears. So as you can see, we have successfully created a calculator, and now we can add fields. So to add fields, we'll select below. We will, as I said, this will be a very simple calculator, just to give you a good idea how to build a calculator itself. So first of all, we want to find out from our user who will be using this calculator online, how much they actually want the loan or the mortgage to be. We can do that with a variety of fields, but let's use a slider for our case. So as you can see, slider appears, and to edit the settings, we'll click over here. And now we can start. So the basic settings, the name of the field, Let's call it a total loan amount or total mortgage amount, whichever one you want. So as you can see, you can also hide the name, or actually the field does not have to appear to public. So if you need a field just for your own calculations, you know, like a middle field kind of thing, you can, you don't have to display it to public, and you can also remove the field over here. If we want it, we can also, it depends. So in our case, let's say that the amount will be showing in dollars. So let's use our postfix will be USD, or you can even put a sign, or if you prefer to put it before the number, you can use it as a prefix. So let's go to the slider settings. So our minimum value will be 0. Our maximum value, let's use 1 million. Step means for how much it will be changing anytime you move the slider. So we wouldn't be getting funny numbers here. So our step can be $1,000. And default value is a value where the slider will show when your calculator loads. So it would not be on 0. It can be on like a most common amount that people would put in. Let's use 350,000 in our case. So once we have this set up, then we can also put a condition. I will show you the condition probably in the fields to follow, because condition is something that tells us that only under this certain condition the field will show or not show. Okay, so I think it will be better in on another field. And appearance, we can change the font name size, the font size, the background color. So if you want to increase the font size of the results we are getting over here, we can change it. And we can also change the color. So one of our fields is completed. And let's add our second field. Our second field, we want to find out for how many years was the duration that they would like to have for the loan to repay. So we add a second slider, and we'll call it loan duration. Over here again, the same settings applies. We can also choose whether we want people to be inputting the number in months or years. Let's say in our case, we want to be showing years. Okay, so we add a postfix over here as in years. So let's go to the second setting, which is the slider setting. So the minimum value, let's leave it on 0. The maximum value, let's say 40 years. That's actually a bit too much. Let's say 20 years. Well, it's up to you what you want. Step we'll put at 1, so when people are dragging the slider, it'll be actually changing by 1 all the time. Default value, let's put it in the middle, so let's put 10. And condition. So for instance, we can put, now I will explain you condition. Condition field, it's actually, these conditions are actually new. We have only released this feature yesterday. So what it means that our loan duration will only appear in under certain condition. Okay, it probably won't really make sense for the calculator we are making at the moment, but just to give you an idea how this works. So if you add a condition to your field, let's say we want to add a condition, let's say for our calculator, and our condition does not want to appear. Okay, so we will choose what field should be the condition. So we'll say that our condition should be based on the total loan amount. And the operator is, for instance, we will say that the loan duration will only appear if the total amount is greater than $10,000. Okay, so if we actually went over here, you can see that right now when I moved it to 0, this field is showing in gray, which means that if we now had it already on a website, this field actually would not show unless the total amount would be over, would be over 10,000. Then the field will show. So this is how the condition work, and the condition can be added to any field you use. It's simply just a condition under which condition the field will or won't appear for the users. And again, we have here the appearance. We can actually delete our condition. We don't need it for this case. The appearance, we can again increase the size. And that's it for our second field. Our third field would be a slider as well. Let's say that we are actually using maybe not even this thing on a website, but we might be using this on when we are actually with the client in person, and we want to show them how much they will be, like to give them an example how much they will be paying. So we would be the ones who will actually use this field. And the reason why I'm saying is because this field will be interest rate. Okay, of course, naturally, people can be choosing the interest rate themselves. But this is why why I said that this would be more working if you are actually with the person, with your client in person, and you are just trying to show them an example. Anyway, so we have our slider called interest rate, and let's go to the slider settings. So minimum value will be 0, maximum value will be 10. Step, we can make step as small as 0.1. And we can put the default value can be 3. And if we want it, we could add a condition that it will only appear under certain condition, and we can change the appearance as well. So we can also put here, actually, if we want, we can make it to be in percent. So we can put the postfix for percentage over here. And let's now count it for our client. So once we know what's the total amount they want for the loan or the mortgage, and we know the duration that they want, and we know what kind of interest rate we can give them, then we want them to be able to see the monthly repayment, right? So for that, we will choose a formula field because we actually need a field which will count that for us. So let's configure this field. So name of the field will be monthly payment. And again, we could choose a condition, we could add a condition, we could change the appearance, but over here what's very important is this. So let's count the formula. So we want to multiply the loan by the interest rate, and we want to find out how much they will be actually paying every single month. So here it's very easy because you don't have to be typing in the IDs of the fields. All you have to do is just use this over here. So we would put the interest rate. We know that it's in full numbers, so we actually want to divide it by 100, meaning we are making the percentage of it. And we want to make it for our months, and we will multiply it by the loan, and we will divide it And we'll insert brackets. So as you can see, you don't even have to be typing in. It's quite easy because you can just be adding using these signs over here. So let's just type in the formula. When you are copying this calculator, I actually want to insert it here. When you copy this calculator, you will actually find out -1 that the formula is already there because we have a mortgage calculator like this on our website. And it's as easy as simply just copying the calculator. And just in case you rename the field, you might have to slightly adjust the formula. But unless you are making big changes, you can just stick to the formula that is there without any changes, and it will still work fine for you. And we are almost there. My years to pay multiplied by 12. I got the extra. This is what happens when you use way too many brackets. My apologies, just a second, because I put way too many brackets in there. So basically what we usually advise is just to use as few brackets as you can, because then this is what can happen. You can have way too many brackets in there. So, but luckily when you run the formula, it'll actually tell you where the problem is, because the pop-up window will show up, and it'll tell you where exactly is the problem and which bracket is not matching. Okay, let's do it this way. So over here we'll have our loan duration. This is our total loan amount. Interest rate and another interest rate. And it's working now. So again, with this, you can actually go to the basic settings and we can add the postfix in US dollars. So it would be showing over here. We can go to appearance and we can increase the size of it. We can also change the color to anything we want. So this is one of the, it's actually an easy formula. It's just that a few brackets can be a bit difficult to match. But as I said, when you have an issue with this, it'll pop out the window and it'll tell you which was the issue. It's usually the brackets once you use 2 or 3 brackets next to each other. But should you have any problem with the formula itself, you can always just send us a message, if that works. No, I'm kidding. So you just send us a message and we'll help you to work out the formula for you. So now that you have actually seen how the calculator itself is built, always make sure that you actually save the calculator so you would not lose it. So there's just few steps. So you use the Add tab to actually add fields. You use the Edit to edit your fields. Configure is when you configure the calculator itself. So it's showing the information that we have input at the beginning. You can choose a theme, which would be color and color scheme. However, Usually when you embed the calculator on your website, it'll actually inherit the CSS, the styling of your website, so you don't really have to worry with the styling over here. And before you can publish it, you have to click on is finished, yes, okay? Because if you don't click on that, and even when you embed it, it'll be showing you that the calculator is not finished yet. So this is where you do it. Then you can set up whether it's public or private based on your subscription, of course. Signature, show or hide. You will see that when you embed it on your website, it will be showing here that this calculator was created with Calculoid. Should you wish to hide it, you have to have one of our paid subscription as well. You can choose 1000 separator. You can see that over here, it's actually changing. So you can use dot, space between or comma. And you can also use if you had some decimal numbers over here. This is also a place when you want to delete your calculator. You go over here and you delete the calculator. So that's the basic settings. And then if you want, you can actually offer integrations as well. So you can actually integrate Calculate with your system with Webhook, via Webhook, Mautic, with Redmine, and Easy Redmine CRM. So when all this setting is completed for your calculator, you go to the Embed tab. And over here, you will find 2 HTML codes that you can paste on your website. What's the difference? This one, if you paste this HTML code, the calculator will inherit the styling of your website. This calculator, because it uses iframe, it won't inherit. So with iframe, it'll basically show the exact styling that you can see over here. Before you embed it on your website, it's really good to test it in the CodePen, because that will show you how it will look on your website. So if you click on that, that would show you, for instance, if the calculator was not finished, it would say that it's not finished yet, only its author can access it. So let's just make sure it's finished. Yes, let's save that. And let's go back. So you can see that now it's finished because we saved it, and everything is showing and working the way we want. Let's go back to the formula field, because there was a question over here that we had. Do you have the option to use an Excel type of if function? Sure. Actually, in the formula field, it works exactly like like Excel, and you can use if functions here as well. Actually, if you go to our website, in our blog, there are 2 blog posts about if function. So if you scroll down our website, you can see the blog. And there's quite detailed information over here about if functions. So it will help you. Syntax operators. It will help you to create the if function in your calculator. Here it is. If function can be used in formula. And there is an article which shows you how the if function works and how to actually type it. So as you can see, you can literally use the typing if in the formula field. The only difference compared to Excel is that when you are typing a formula, you don't put you don't use this over here, okay? So it will never work with that. So just make sure. So if you wanted an if function, you will just start typing if, and then you will follow the instructions over here. You actually have quite few examples, and some of them are quite complex as well. So I believe that if you have a read through this, it'll give you a good idea how to work with the if function as well. One more thing, when you are using your calculator, for instance, if you were with a client and you wanted to send them this, you can also add the send result field. And what's very important with send result field is how you set the email template that you send them. So basically, over here, it's very important if you want them to see the values that you have added over here. You will be copying the ID of the field, and you will have to put it to your email template as well, so your client can actually get the results, the information that you have typed in. So there's the send results field that is available for all our paid subscription. With free subscription, you unfortunately cannot use this. And also another field that you can actually only use with our e-commerce or high traffic is the payment field. Of course, it would not quite work with the loan, though maybe they want to pay the first installment straight away or some deposit down or something. So you would add your payment field over here, but it can work for another calculator as well. And again, it's very important you do the settings here. And the payment field, you can set up the currency, and you can set up whether people should be by default paying through PayPal or Stripe. So those are the options that are available. You have a place where you do all the settings for your PayPal or for your Stripe. You have email template as well, meaning people will get a recapitulation of the order or anything that they are paying for. You can add some conditions as well and change the appearance of the field. So these are two fields that are very useful if people are actually buying something on your website. And now let's go back to this calculator. So as you can see, each of these pieces is actually an individual field itself that can be easily edited the way we were working with our calculator that we created ourselves. Again, this is one of our calculators that is actually public, so it's available for you to copy. And over here, these big fields are actually formula fields. So you can see what's being counted over here, and you can see that the formulas in this case are very simple. Or your inheritance tax bill, let's have a look at that formula as well. It's very simple as well. So as you can see, building finance calculator can be very simple, and you can either do it yourself or you can get in touch with us and we'll help you to build your calculator for you, so you can save time and you can start collecting leads or start taking even your payments online. So thank you so much for your attention. Should you have any questions, please feel free to type in the question and answer feature as you have already done, or you can get in touch later with us on our chat, which is available both on our website or in your application when you log in, or just send us an email. Our contact information is available on our website. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you again on the 7th of August, where we'll be talking about quote calculators, which is actually quite close related to finance calculators as well. So good luck with your calculators and see you soon.